Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. So last night I had an epiphany, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool if we made Benny English? So first we're going to make some almond cookies, because I promised almond cookies. Then I'm going to show you how to make the bottom part of the Benny, because you already know how to make the eggs and the hollandaise sauce. We've already covered all that. But I'm going to show you this really neat recipe that I think you're going to love, especially if you like bacon. But you can also switch it with salmon or cheese or whatever you like. So first we're going to start with our almond cookies. Now you'll notice that there's no salt in any of this, okay? So if you're on a low sodium diet, this one is perfect. It's also very vegan. We have almond flour, 2 cups of almond flour, a half a teaspoon of baking powder, and a 1/4 cup of butter, which you can switch and use vegetable if you want. 3 tablespoons of maple syrup, my all-time favorite. You can also add vanilla if you like. And if you want, you can add a half a cup of chocolate chips or raisins or whatever you like, okay? So, I'm going to show you how to do it. It's really easy. I found this almond flour. Flour and meal are 2 different things. Meal is a bit more, it contains more water. The almond flour is the one you want to make the cookies, okay? So we got 2 cups of almond flour. We're going to put in some baking powder. Instead of baking soda, we're just going to use the baking powder. And we just want a little bit, so just this much, not too much. Okay, and then I'm going to just swoosh it around a little bit. My favorite word, swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Okay, and then we're going to add the maple syrup. This is so easy, it's silly, I know. It's like not a lot of ingredients. So we're going to put 3 tablespoons of maple syrup, okay? I was lucky enough to have somebody come from Canada and bring me this amazing maple syrup, which tastes absolutely amazing. You're going to love it, okay? And then we're going to swoosh it around again just a little bit. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. This is going to be the sugar part of your cookies, okay? And then we're going to add the butter. The butter has to be a little bit soft, otherwise it's really hard. I'm going to put a little bit of vanilla extract, okay? I'm going to put a tablespoon just to give it a bit more flavor to my little cookies, okay? And we're going to swoosh that around. And now you can add your raisins or your chocolate chips or whatever it is you like. You can make cranberries, you can put any kind of nut that you like. Okay, so now I'm going to heat up the butter a little bit, just a little bit, okay? So I'm going to use my trusty little pan here. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and make the other one. You're going to love the other one. The other one is really good. So we're just going to make this a little melted. That's all we got to do. And then we have our cookies. Then we're going to make our little cookies. Now what I like to use is coconut oil. You can use parchment paper or any of that, but we're just going to use coconut oil today. I get this one here. It's a spray-on, so it's really healthy, and it's just coconut. So we're just going to spray the coconut on here like that. Da-da-da-da-da-da. See how easy? Et voila, we're done. Now we're just going to wait for our melted butter, and we're going to throw that in our recipe, and we're going to make the cookies. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Now I already made a batch, so I'm going to show you the batch that I made. I wish you were here to try it. But Myron's here. Today we have Myron again. Woohoo! Our favorite cinematographer. Okay, so we're going to put the butter in here. Da, 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 da. Make sure it's nice and soft. Okay, so you don't need a blender, you don't need anything, you just need a little elbow grease, which is not so hard. Okay, so we're going to swoosh it around a little bit more. Da-da-da-da-da. And then I'm going to put my trusty gloves on because I don't like getting my fingernails full of dough. Plus, it's also a bit more hygienic, you know. Okay, so let me get my trusty gloves, my wonderful gloves. I hope you have gloves at home. I know in this pandemic it's quite crazy, but everybody's got gloves now. Okay, so we're just going to make sure it's nicely swooshed around. And voila, you can also make one big cookie if you want. So I'm just going to make a couple of cookies. We just use our hands like this. We preheat our oven and we make our nice little cookies. And voila. So I'm just going to make a whole bunch here real fast. And then throw them in the oven. And they should be ready in about 5 minutes or 10. If you're in a rush, you can heat it up a bit. I know kids always want more cookies. Now, I didn't put any chocolate or raisins because I like them plain. But if you have kids that love their chocolate, I use these chocolate chips that are quite good. And they're bittersweet. So there's not too much sugar content. As you notice, there's no sugar, there's just maple syrup, which is really good for you. Okay? So this should make about 12 cookies if you make them nice and flat. Or you can make them a little bit bigger, like I am, and you'll get maybe 8 cookies out of this, which is good enough for me and Myron. Okay, so here we go. I'm done. I'm done my cookies. How fast was I? 10 minutes? Alright, now we're going to cook them up. We're going to put them in the oven, and we'll put them at 10 minutes. And while we're doing that, I've already cooked up some bacon grease. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this recipe. It's very cool. So what we want to do is we want to take a little bit of this bacon grease and we're going to put it, let me see, make some room here. We're done with this one. Okay. Let me show you this one. This is a really good one. And then what I like to do is I like to fill them up with my eggs Benny. So here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the bacon to the side, just like this. So we got all the juice here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the juice in these trusty muffin trays, because it's really hard to find what it is you need in order to make the proper mold. So you can just use these. These are just as good. So you need bacon, or you can use, for the bottom part, you can use butter. You can use butter with a little bit of vegetable oil. Okay? All right, so there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat this up a little bit. So I'm just going to coat it just like this, okay? And then we're going to put it in the oven, the trusty oven again. While our cookies are baking, we're going to put it on the side. See, I don't want to get burnt today. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to heat that tray up, and I'm going to start my recipe. Alright, so I want to crack some eggs. So the first thing we're going to do is crack some eggs in here. And voila. So you always want to crack your egg on a flat surface, by the way, in case you didn't know. So you can use your table that you've got like this, or you can use 2 eggs together, whatever is more fun for you. Okay, and that way you don't get any eggshells in your lovely batter. Okay, so now we've got that. I'm just going to twirl it around a little bit. And then I'm going to add my milk. And it's 1 cup of milk. So we're just going to add a cup of milk, just like that. And then we're going to do 2 cups of flour, which I'm going to, or sorry, 1 cup of flour. It was 2 cups of almond milk. So I'm going to do 1 cup of flour. Again, the butter, I've measured it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat it up a little bit so that it's not so clumpy. Okay, so while we're doing that, I'm going to measure out 2 cups of flour. And I'm going to use my trusty sifter again because I don't want to get any clumps. We don't want no clumps. Right? So 1, 2, and voila. Super easy. Let's put the lid back on there so the geckos don't get in. This I'm just going to heat up real fast in my trusty pan again. Now these little tarts that I'm making, you can use them for all kinds of things. You can use them as an extra. You know, like the English, they do their, you know, their Yorkshire pudding. That's what it's called. This is like a type of Yorkshire pudding, but a little more exciting because I'm not English. Jane, are you watching? I made that comment for Jane. Okay, so here we go. I'm sifting all my flour in, nice and easy. And then I'm going to swoosh it around again, my favorite word. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. I'm just swooshing it around just to make sure. Then we're going to add our bacon bits that I've cooked up. So this basically just uses up a little bit of butter. Basically the bacon bits and the grease is what gives you that amazing flavor. How's my butter? My butter's warm up now. So let me just turn that off real quick before I forget. Burnt butter, we don't want burnt butter. Okay, voila, we are done. Okay, no clumps. No clumps for us. There we go. We're just going to add the butter in. It's a bit warm, so I'm going to let it cool off a little bit while I'm swooshing around. So all this can be done without any appliances. Wow, pretty cool. Just a little bit of elbow grease and you've got it. So by the time this is all said and done, we're going to pop it in the oven. And this one needs a little bit more heat. This one is at 425 for all of 10 minutes. Can you believe it? 10 minutes and you're done. So the whole recipe is like, I don't know, 15 minutes, I guess. Now, that you can also freeze these. So if you have guests that come over at the last minute and you don't know what to do, these are also really good if you want to put sauteed vegetables or anything like that. You can have a lot of fun with this. I'm actually going to I'm going to call it, what am I going to call it? I'm going to call it Benny English. Yeah, man. Myron and I are going to have breakfast after. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that. And we're going to put in our bacon. Now I'm just going to, you can actually chop this, or you can do it my way, which is just throwing it all in here. Okay? And then we're going to put it in that little trusty pan that we've bought in the oven. And voila, we have our tarts. Our English Yorkshire muffins. I know, I cracked myself up. Anyways, it's all good. Life is good here in Punta Chame. If you missed this episode, you will be able to catch it on IGTV, Instagram. And if you can't do that, you can catch it on Panama Peg 11. I'm going to post it there as soon as I can. Okay. So now, I'm going to go find my pan. And there we go. since we're here, I'm going to flip my cookies real fast. Just going to do a little flippity-doo. As you can see, they're looking really nice. We're just going to flip them a little bit so that they're brown on both sides. You want them brown on both sides. Oh, and these are really moist. If you like moist cookies, these are the ones. Woohoo! One more here. Oh. See, so you can make cookies and breakfast at the same time. There we go. Throw that back in. Should take about 5 more minutes. And now for la pièce de résistance. You know what? I forgot one piece of bacon. So let me just put this one more piece of bacon in here. Otherwise the dogs are just gonna have a field day. There's always a competition of who gets the most bacon around here. And it's usually the dogs. Okay, so let me just put this in here. So the fatty bits I give to the dogs. I'm not too crazy about it. Okay, here's my thingy. There we go. Now these are going to be super delicious and super big because Myron and I are both hungry, starving. Then we're going to attempt cleaning the beach. So here we go. We just throw them in here. These ones are going to be a bit bigger than the ones I already made. So that you'll see they come out really nice. They're like Pop-Tarts. Quite nice. Oh, I have a dog asking for bacon. Here we go. So this should make some really nice big ones. So this is enough for like 3 big eggs Benny with that amazing hollandaise sauce. Woo! I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Okay, so here we go. Now we're going to pop these in the oven, and these take 10 minutes. Okay. Let me pull out my cookies. My cookies are ready. And we're going to pop this in for 12 whole minutes. Et voila. And we're going to do 12 minutes. Oops. I always do a little bit more because I have a gas oven. So this is the result of what you're going to get. These are the mini ones. I did these in a mini muffin thing. So what you want to do inside is you can add vegetables, saute vegetables, you can put an egg, you can put hollandaise sauce. You can go crazy. Or you can just have it as a side dish with any dish that you're having, whether it's chicken or beef stroganoff or whatever, and just throw that sauce on there. It's quite good. And then these are the cookies. Ta-da! I made a whole bunch this morning. I went a little crazy, but now you know how to do them, and it's really fast. So here are the recipes again. So 2 cups almond flour, baking powder, butter, maple syrup. You can add chocolate chips, a little bit of vanilla, whatever you like, and it only takes 15 minutes. The popovers take 10 minutes. All you need is flour, milk, and butter, and some eggs. If you want to use salmon, smoked salmon, you can. You can change it up a bit. It's very exciting. Once again, I look forward to seeing you. Pink Palace, Panama, all the way in Panama. And you can catch me on my YouTube channel, Panama Peg 11. And I look forward to seeing you. Hope you're having a groovy Sunday. See you soon. Ciao for now.